So you're saying nothing?
You cursed the Packers.
Oh, that's right.
We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And the S stands for stabbing in the back. Because I asked for one thing, Brandon. One thing. Like it was City Slickers. One thing. I just said, can you, if you're gonna put the Packers, right, because it's all 14 teams, just don't put them in the top 10, and especially avoid like 7 and 8, because that's where the wheel tends to go. These are the exact words that I said on Monday, and you said, woo! And then yesterday, you put out your power rankings, and what do I see? The Green Bay Packers getting cursed. One thing, Brandon, one thing.
The Schmackers.
I said 5 and 6. Never mind. So technically, you kind of listened, but you still cursed them.
Yeah, I spun it backwards.
So then we're good.
No, I don't think so.
Why?
To avoid the it keeps landing on 6 and 7. So I did a backwards spin. It's sad because it landed on the Packers. I'm gonna be rooting for the curse. And I would have been rooting for you. I would have been rooting for Jordan Love and Green Bay to get that win, to send Cowboys fans home crying again. But my loyalty to the devil is getting stronger.
You are going to root for the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm going to be rooting for the curse.
No.
Cowboys.
You are rooting for the... Wow, Perna. You know what? I didn't think you could get lower, but that's a new low.
I'm not proud of it.
No, I don't care. No. This is worse. This might be one of the worst things you've ever done.
Yeah.
It's up there.
And I've gotten away with murder.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you've hit a few people on your way home, but like that, this one, by the way, you got a fitty from Lord Taco, but you know what? You don't get any tacos. You don't get any. You get zero. None.
Fitty.
We ride and we die together.
You guys are playing with house money. You got nothing to lose.
Famous, I'm very sorry for your loss. And don't worry, I'll get plenty mad at Perna for you. Are you serious, dude? The Cowboys. You're rooting for the Cowboys.
No, I'm rooting for the curse
You're rooting for the Cowboys.
I need the curse to be accurate for the playoffs, you know?
It already has been broken.
I mean, quite literally.
Yeah, that's a problem too.
Look at this guy. Oh. Let's spin it again. Let's see if we get a double curse on you. Ow! Whoa, it went to 5. Let's try it again. I'm just going to curse all the teams.
I love how you just spun it and it hit you in the face. And we're like, ow, 5.
You're safe. 3. Okay, so, you know.
Well, at least we didn't get double curse.
To haunt you all episode.
I just have to tell Jess to burn it. That's honestly what it's going to have to be.
Oh, God, it's not going to make it.
It's
not going to make it.
It's going down. It's the Bears season. Hold on. It's close. Dude, stop. Oh, no, it's going still up there and dead. There you go. Just dead.
All right.
Eric, I mean, listen, I respect the game, but the player.
If the Packers lose, the Browns lose, and the Chiefs lose, then the curse wheel is as strong as it's ever been.
Those are the teams you just cursed?
That would be the last 3. And if they all just lose in the wild card, whoo.
Yeah, so that's a little breaking news. So Eberflus expected to stay with the Chicago Bears. They fired Luke Getsy this morning, their offensive coordinator.
Getsy out?
Yeah, they fired Getsy. So his role as a Packers double agent, successful. He successfully tanked the Bears franchise, and it helped. And now, like, this opens the door of, like, I don't think this gives any more clarity on if they're keeping Fields or not. Because are they really going to do this again where they keep Eberflus and then they bring in a Caleb Williams? And if it doesn't work out this year, they just fire Eberflus and we go through the same thing that we just talked about on Monday?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I do have my.
Do you think Getsy goes to New York? Think he's a Jet?
Dude, maybe he winds up going back to the Packers as like a quarterback's coach if Tom Clements retires.
Yeah, Packers, the Jets. Interesting. Yeah, what the Bears, I mean, I don't think keeping Eberflus is the same as firing Vrabel.
No, we're going to talk about, I want to talk about that so much. Yeah, well, you know, come on now. Just gotta.
Yeah, but you guys didn't play your starters in final week, Chargers.
That's not.
I think the wheel was like, I'm taking a bye this week as well. I'm taking a bye.
It's
this
like week 18. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't.
We know it's not real, guys. It's just a plastic thing I bought on Amazon.
I mean, the Colts. I mean, you guys were in every fans. I did a whole video about you guys. You got the first season reaction. Good God, man! I had 13 teams. I can only do so much. My living room is not that big. I've run out of space. I can only put so many teams in scriptwriter. You got every fans. You got the first season reaction, the only one so far. So no, I don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Sorry, continue.
What? What'd you say?
Let's talk about Mike Vrabel. Okay.
Yeah.
So
this situation is just bizarre to me.
This is not completely unexpected because I think there were rumors out there that this could happen. And when it did happen, I was like, damn, okay, that's still rough. But it was the rationale as to why that I was like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, that's about right.
Those are Titans fans today.
That's accurate. Oh yeah, it's gone now. It's gone.
Good. We heard basically, I don't know, it was like a month ago maybe, where they were like Mike Vrabel and GM Rand Carthon don't get along or some shit, right? It was like they're kind of at odds. And then it was quiet and his name popped up as possible changes, but it felt safe. It was like, you know what? Tennessee, they're in the process of making a quarterback change, right?
Yes.
They put in Levis. He looked better. Then he got hurt. They had to go back to Tannehill. They beat the Jags. Final game.
Yep.
Strong performance. And you're thinking, like, if you're a Titans fan, let's see what we do next year. Starting the season with Will Levis, got some experience under his belt, all that shit. And the one thing you knew that the Titans had is a good head coach.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No.
And then, right, this is where it got bizarre. Because you assume it's the GM making the call, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have a general manager. But it's their owner, Amy Adams, which I think she needs to change her name. Like, I just can only picture actress Amy Adams every time. I'm just going to think of every Amy Adams movie, and I just cannot take her seriously with that name.
Because God forbid, there's 2 Amy Adams in the world.
Yeah, that's too many.
That's too many. Is there another Brandon Perna out there?
Yeah, there's one for sure. He was like a minor league baseball player too.
I'm going to go do a sports show with him.
Yeah, it might be better.
I'm going to do that just because then I don't know if he's going to then like slowly over time bring in a curse wheel. I'm going to be like, what's going on? And then I realize I'm the problem.
No, he's going to consult with somebody and then fire you unexpectedly, just like Amy Adams. So she met with Vrabel and Rand Carthon. Okay, she met with her GM and her head coach separately. Rand said he was not part of the decision to fire Vrabel, and she decided it was just time for a fresh start at head coach. Which, look, I can understand that.
Don't hinder gender.
If that's like what your GM also wants. Like you want your GM being like, yeah, I thought it was time to move on as well. We're 100% on the same page here. But it just seems disjointed.
But it was also the rationale of like, have you thought about trading him? And they were like,
that seemed like a lot of work, to be honest.
Seems like it was pretty complicated, you know? And the rationale is like, we don't want to miss out on the person that we want because we're trying to trade, which like, okay, I get, but Mike Vrabel is gonna be a head coach somewhere next season.
Oh.
Like, he is not gonna, like, Packers said, like, defensive coordinator, I wish. But there is a move that I could see. Like, we talking about Bill Belichick, and we're still waiting for that shoe to drop. If I'm the Patriots organization, if the decision is to move on from Belichick, I'm feeling a lot better today because I am picking up that phone and I am calling Vrabel and I'm like, come on down, buddy. Come on down, because Vrabel loves the Patriots. The Patriots love Vrabel, and I think like he's a great head coach. And I think that now you have the number 3 overall pick.
Yeah,
you're rocking.
It's what's crazy. Like it's always to me because really good head coaches are hard to find. And when you fire a coach and they immediately shoot up to the top of the list
Yes.
of guys that other teams want to hire, maybe you fucked up, Tennessee. Maybe you fucked up.
But
now,
so to that comment of like they want a full rebuild, like that's all well and good and that's fine. Yeah. I just don't know how you look at Vrabel being the problem there.
Yeah, and I think like to not be just doom and gloom for the Titans and not to put everything on them.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how much longer Vrabel wanted to be there necessarily in those circumstances. Because when they hired Rand Carthon, it was kind of like a little blip that Vrabel wasn't super involved in the hiring process for the GM, right? And that, you know, the GM before, once they traded AJ Brown, I think that GM was just dead to Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
And so like, maybe he was like, this organization, I don't see it going in the right direction necessarily. And maybe it was more like, I'm fine if you guys let me go. I'll go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And what would be kind of wild to me as well, you mentioned the Patriots, and that's like, if Belichick's gone, and that hasn't happened yet, obviously the connection makes so much sense. But what if he goes down to Atlanta?
That'd be awesome, dude.
I mean, Arthur Smith, former Titans coach, goes to Atlanta. And then what if Mike Vrabel's first action is to hire Arthur Smith as his offensive coordinator? Oh, please, God. Happy birthday.
Happy almost birthday. Yeah, I mean, legitimately, though, like, what team wouldn't want Vrabel? Like, of all the coaching vacancies right now.
The Chiefs.
No, yeah, I mean, in terms of just, like, the open available spots, I mean, Falcons would love him. Chargers, I think he would be fun with that. You have Justin Herbert. That'd be pretty fun. Patriots, you know, if that winds up happening, that's a lock. Commanders absolutely would love a guy like Vrabel because you knew the players loved him, but then you saw like the outpouring of support. Like Derrick Henry's like, what the F? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I think like when you have that kind of reaction, it's kind of where the Raiders were with Bisaccia. And you would hope that now they've learned of like, we need to keep Pierce. Because if you could find a guy that at least can kind of keep the players motivated and keep them going, especially during a losing season and things haven't been going well. Last year, they had one of the most like cataclysmic collapses, losing 7 straight games. They lost the division and guys are still willing to like play and fight for you. You know, that's tough to get.
Yeah. The Titans were always one of the most well-prepared teams to play. Their issue, like the last 2 seasons, have been like it's talent. They added DeAndre Hopkins this year.
Yes.
Which was nice. But
it's true.
Who the fuck else do they have catching footballs, really? It's nobody. Let's just be honest. It's just not ideal in the ball catching situation. It was just as bad the year before, but also they had injuries on defense. So like I don't even put the underperforming seasons on Vrabel. I feel like if there were other coaches coaching the Titans the last 2 years, they would have been worse. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So, yeah, it's hard to find coaches that guys love playing for, and Vrabel's one of them. Their defense was always just disgusting, hard to play
Their
against.
D-line really good.
It's like they're a tough football team, and now he's going to go coach somewhere else, probably have more success because he'll get a better roster. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Titans do, but I feel like they're going to be at the bottom of the AFC South for the foreseeable future.
But that's what I said too with the AFC South. You look at these teams that are now competitive. The Texans have a super bright future. The Colts have a super bright future with Anthony Richardson coming back, right? The Jaguars are still a very talented football team. Like the Titans, if they're going for this full rebuild, it's like, damn, like, all right, yeah, they might be the bottom of the barrel for a little bit. And I also do want to know the answer to this.
Oh, well, I really liked, even though it was like dark and depressing, Sharp Objects, the series on HBO with Amy Adams.
Okay.
That's a really good show. A lot of use of Led Zeppelin, which I always like.
It's not a movie, but okay.
Her cameo in The Office for the first episode, pretty good as well.
It's still a TV show. Are you typing in Amy Adams movies right now?
Now I am.
It's Arrival. I'm gonna tell you right now. Arrival.
No, Arrival was good. Let me see here. Let me go. Let me see here. Oh yeah, she was in The Master.
She was. Okay. The way you just said Arrival was good. What was that?
It was good. I didn't watch it and then be like, God dang, I gotta watch this shit again. I forgot. Sunshine Cleaning. That was a nice little flick.
Arrival is one of my favorite sci-fi movies, like of all time.
Good. I'm happy for you. Oh yeah, she was in Talladega Nights.
I love this show so much.
What is my? You know what? Maybe The Fighter. I liked The Fighter.
Folks, listen. The people who show up and watch this show, I love you all. I appreciate you for watching this show because it's amazing. I love doing it so much.
Amy Adams. We love you. The actress. Owner? We'll see. To be determined. TBD on the owner, Amy Adams. I'm not anti-owner Amy Adams, but I'm on the fence owner Amy Adams. On the fence. Also, Amy Adams' next movie.
Where she plays Mike Vrabel. Listen, why not? Why not?
Amy Adams cast in the Titans biopic to play Amy Adams. Nope. Head coach Mike Vrabel. Surprisingly.
It's the casting. Why not? It's an interesting
choice. If she could do that, and
she'll win the Oscar.
Yeah.
She, like that. It's gonna be like when Leonardo DiCaprio fought a bear in The Revenant. She will. And
she won't even have to cut her penis off to fulfill the role. Mike Vrabel.
Doing so well, Brad.
Remember, he said he would cut his penis off to win a Super Bowl as a head coach.
He did say that. That is accurate.
That's where it was. It wasn't just out of nowhere, guys.
No, what was the response to that? Like some person was just like, "Oh well, you're married, so you're not gonna need it." Like,
no, that was him. I think that was his response. Like,
that was
I've been married, guys. Like, how often am I actually going to use it? Yeah, I think that was Vrabel's. It was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, I believe. Like,
that makes sense.
They were just talking shit, calling people.
Like, I'm going to cut my wiener off first.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. I think Jerry Jones would.
What's that?
I think Jerry Jones would.
Oh, at this point, sure.
Yeah. Now it's just like, just go. Who's going to be fourth? Either the Bears or the Vikings.
Broncos taking in 24. Wait, what? Thanks for your service. You too, Tom. Broncos tanking in 24.
Tanking, like do bad.
We're not tanking yet. I've got Broncos stuff we can talk about. Thanks for using our Underdog code. That would be GPS, everybody. Today's sponsor is Underdog Fantasy. Catman Johnny, you win $1 million in Underdog credit. Just kidding, but that would be pretty cool. Thanks for setting up the read for us there.
Here's the best part, too. You never know what you're going to get. You're either going to get an ad read like 50 minutes in, 55 minutes in, 20 minutes in. We're going to be talking about
today,
Amy
baby.
Adams, both the actress and the owner.
Ooh, what's the higher or lower on Amy Adams winning the Oscar for her portrayal of Mike Vrabel?
Starring in On the Fence.
On the Fence.
You know what? Listen, folks.
Oh, come on. I don't have NFL picks yet in the Underdog pick.
You're the internet. We need to see a movie poster. Amy Adams as Mike Vrabel in On the Fence.
Please, come on, guys. Make it happen.
It's just the rules.
All right. You know what? We got wild card weekend coming up, so I'm going to jump into a battle royale wild card. Ooh, $5 entry. What do we got? First place, 20 grand. 20 grand? What could you buy with 20 grand? Probably the Tennessee Titans, honestly. You're not going to draw it, Rachel, but you're going to think about it when you sleep tonight. You're going to close your eyes and be like, oh, no, why am I thinking of Amy Adams as Mike Vrabel?
Listen, be a stunning performance. I'm just saying, Amy Adams is incredibly talented. I think she could pull it off.
Yeah, no, she's great.
The actress, not the owner, right?
Yes. Again, on the fence about the owner.
Yeah, gotta be.
Actress, sold. Body of work, solid. All right, so I'm picking fourth in this wild card battle royale. Remember, with the battle royale drafts, you're not just playing against the people you're drafting against. You're playing against the field. That's why you got a shot to win $20,000 for a $5 entry. Easy. Let's do it. Just use our code GPS when you sign up. We got a link in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. Underdog been rocking with us all season through the postseason to the Super Bowl. So if you're going to get in on a little fantasy, a little pick'em action, do it at Underdog.
I think you should pick Lamar Jackson and CMC for this week, Perna.
Tom, you're so funny. Oh, I'm so glad you put those two teams in your power rankings, even though they're not playing.
Because they're still in the playoffs. So they... All right, buddy.
I'm going to pick Dak Prescott, knowing that he's going to throw for 500 yards and 10 touchdowns against the Packers. First pick, Dak Prescott. No, CD... Oh, wait. Did CD Lamb just go?
What time are the Broncos playing, bud? Just want to know.
We're playing ourselves, man.
Yeah? Are you going to have time to watch when you're watching Coach?
Oh, I'm up. Oh, God.
I can't.
Man, I would have taken...
came down for that one stream and was just like, when he focuses on something, he can't hear anything else.
Let's see here.
It's a real thing. And I've never had that, so it's fascinating.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go Amon-Ra. Give me Amon. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Dude, that's a good point, Raphael. I mean, I think if the Packers legitimately beat the Cowboys, then I think you might see Mike McCarthy go. Because as I've been saying, like, Packers have nothing to lose. Cowboys have everything. I was actually talking to Scooter last night. We were talking about some random thing. And I was like, dude, I have no stress for this playoff game because it's just house money, no stress. And he goes, if we lose, like, to the Packers, like, that's it. Like, it's done. Like, that would be catastrophic for the Cowboys. And you're rooting for the Cowboys.
I just took Dak, baby. Again, I don't wish you guys any ill will.
Oh, yeah, totally. Doesn't sound like it at all.
No. You know, like, if the Packers do beat the Cowboys, which is definitely possible, you know, like the whole, like when a coach loses bad and it's just like, don't even get on the team plane. the Cowboys are going to tell McCarthy to get on the Packers team plane and
Yeah,
just
they're
go
just like,
back
just
home
go
'cause
back.
They don't fucking want him anymore.
Just go back.
And they got their built-in head coach in Dan Quinn. Like the Cowboys are in the good spot of they've got the replacement. They just elevate Dan Quinn. Boom, easy. Mike McCarthy is so dispensable, but he's done like a good job. He's also done like a decent job with the Cowboys.
Arrival is the best Amy Adams movie.
Wow, continuity.
Mm.
Continuity.
We both saw different things on that super chat. But yeah, we do also have the Giants are in the thumbnail and the title as well, because the Giants are making some moves that are interesting to say. That it is legitimately a weird situation over in Jersey right now.
Yeah.
Because so Wink Martindale like resigned, and there was a lot of rumors that like they just did not get along, and Wink Martindale was doing his own thing. And like Wink is gonna get a DC job, right? He could even be up there for a potential head coach job, but like he's gonna get a DC job because the Giants defense was pretty solid all year. So not head coach, but...
What's weird? Okay, so like he was fired, but then no, he was resigning, but then no, he has not resigned. And then we learned we'd heard that Dable and Wink were at odds during the season, right? You remember that storyline?
Yes.
And then Dable basically came out and like squashed it. It was like, no, we're cool. Oh God, should I take Aaron Jones?
Yeah, you should. Not
or Jaden Reed. Who do you think is gonna have a bigger day?
How about you kiss my ass?
I'm gonna go Aaron Jones.
I hope Jaden Reed scores all the touchdowns.
Yeah, I know it.
I hope we get nothing.
Oh yeah, I did not know Disney Renaissance. Sorry, I just didn't.
And ooh, Sputnik. I never heard of that one. Okay, we'll check it out.
You know,
I'm gonna also a great movie. Sam Rockwell, so good, very underrated too.
Sputnik.
Oh, Moon by.
Moon's great. I was like, he did another sci-fi movie, Sputnik.
There's a new one coming out. I just saw a trailer for it yesterday called ISS, where it's like 3 Russian scientists and 3 American scientists in the ISS, and like World War III breaks out. And I was like, it's a cool concept. I checked that out.
Imagine watching that from space. Like, oh, fuck, we can't go back.
Yeah, that's what the movie is. And I'm just like, damn, all right, that's pretty something. Okay. Hey, T. Higgins would be great. But here's the thing. I wonder, do the Titans try to move DeAndre Hopkins? Like, try to get, if you're going full rebuild, try to get what you can, because if you're basically starting from scratch, you don't need an older DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's a good player. Trade him to a team that needs him, like right now. Like the Chiefs fit that bill, the Patriots fit that bill. Basically, all the teams we were talking about in the offseason, except the Packers. So,
all right.
Anyway, back to the Giants.
Yeah, back to the Giants. So I read about like what was going on there. Basically, I forget who wrote about it. Don't give a shit. But like, the Giants and so Wink Martindale. Oh, damn, I got to make my last pick. Hold on.
We can't. Every time you do a draft, Enchant is good. Arrivals. Like, for me, like, that is one of my favorites. I love it. Come on, Cardinals. It's coming. Hey, you know what? It allows me to get through the supers. I appreciate y'all. Perna's focusing.
Give me Najee, baby. Let's do it. Oh,
against
no,
the Bills?
I can't. Actually, give me Dalton Schultz.
Ooh. All right.
What?
That's an interesting pick.
Okay. I got Dalton Kincaid. I missed my pick. I got a Dalton. I just wanted a Dalton anyway. So, all right.
You got a Dalton.
Yeah. So apparently, okay,
Timothy.
Wink might not be a big fan of Brian Dable, is what we learned. In that Wink had a couple dudes that he brought over with him. The Wilkins brothers. They're literally brothers. The Wilkins bros. Apparently, they started just operating without Dable behind his back, if you will, not reporting, just doing their own thing is what this article is suggesting. Okay, and that there was like some conflict there, but Dable made it work. And it sounds like I want to hear what Wink Martindale has to say. He's been like a well-respected coach in the league, but
Yeah.
it seems like he's handling this situation like a child, like a baby, like a little tiny whiny baby, like a wah-wah baby. Is Wink a wah-wah baby, Tom? Because he just left. He left the facility as well. He's not responding to Giants. Usually you're sticking around at this time. And he's like, nah, fuck it. I'm going home. I don't like Dable. I don't like anything that's happening here. I'm a wah-wah baby.
So I'm really interested because we were talking about Brian Dable and like those gut reactions that you had Giants fans who were like, fire Dable after he just won Coach of the Year last year. And I'm just curious of like where this is stemming from. Is this a Brian Dable issue? Is this a Wink Martindale issue? Is this just an organization issue? So I think that for me is like, what the hell is going on? Because the Giants have a very interesting offseason ahead of them because they set themselves up for like a disaster because they overachieved, last season. They won a playoff game. And then it was like, wow, Dable gets Coach of the Year. Like, they're back. They're just going to get better from here. And then they got worse. They went out and they got Darren Waller, right? And like they're getting some wide receivers, but Daniel Jones injured, battered, beaten up, still not really the answer. You had Tyrod Taylor, of course. You had DiNucci in there. Saquon was dealing with some stuff, and so
DeVito.
Excuse me.
DiNucci's a Bronco. And he's going to
just
be a
resigned.
Bronco in
He's on the grind
2024.
because he just resigned. I apologize, bippity boppity. So you had DeVito come in too, but it's a matter of like, what the hell do? They have to draft a quarterback, right? Like that seems to be priority numero uno.
To us, yes.
Yeah. But it's a weird situation going on there. And Wink, like you said, has a ton of respect around the league.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, what the hell happened to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of things.
So yeah, if it's so like this, right? Like if it's that, then it's like, oh, because that's the rumors, right? That he like went off and was doing his own stuff and kind of like, hey, I'm not the reason why this is a problem. Like kind of just like throwing others under the bus. And then if that's the case, which again, I don't know, those are the rumors, then that's super crappy.
Yeah, it's like, it never fails to amaze me how egos just cause so many problems in the NFL, in coaching rooms, GM. Like it's like Wink's been around a long time, and the Ravens moved on from him, right? The Ravens and him parted ways. The Ravens are they're good. They're a well-run organization. They do it. They're the best team in the AFC. He goes to the Giants and takes a job where he should be grateful to have that opportunity after a really good team moved on from him. But it sounds like he doesn't like working with the head coach, and so he's just going to be miserable and make other people miserable. Maybe that's how he forces his way out. I don't know. If he resigns, then the Giants kind of have control over where he can land next. So maybe he's just hoping they fire him so he has more control.
So
like
you just feel like I just want to go. Like it just seemed he doesn't want to be there anymore. That's very obvious.
Like I don't know how adults I know it's a high pressure job, but like when I hear like a defensive coordinator can't get along with the head coach, just like grow the fuck up.
He's quiet.
Unless the head coach is crazy, right? And I don't think Brian Dable's crazy.
Yeah.
Like when the Browns had Hugh Jackson, who was the old Steelers coordinator? Todd Haley and Greg Williams all together. I'm like, that's a recipe for disaster. And they're on Hard Knocks. I was like, none of these dudes really like each other. All of them think they're smarter than the other guy. I get why there's dysfunction there. But yeah, it's weird. I feel bad. Like the Giants just need a new defensive coordinator. And they should be like, hey, Vrabel, you want to just come over here for a year, take a step back for a year, coach the defense? That would be the sneaky play. Because weren't there like floaters out there about the Giants would be interested in Antonio Pierce coming in as DC?
Yes.
So like that'd be tight too.
Oh my God. If the Raiders let him go, like at that point, then it's like, I don't feel bad no more.
And
I don't.
Gruden maybe going back to coach Derek Carr down in New Orleans.
What the action? So that, because there's so many coaching decisions to talk about too. So you have the fallout from this, because I really want to talk about this. Also, that's freaking awesome. Give it to a Houston charity, though. Give it to a Houston charity. Hook them up. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Give it, yeah.
So the Saints, the final play, everything that's come out of that is just effing gold. And I sat here on Monday and I was like, I love it. I love it. I get it. It looks really bad on Dennis Allen, but I love it because the Saints and Falcons hate each other. The teams do not like each other. The fan bases don't. And like that fuels that rivalry. And I'm like, yes, throw coal into the fire. Like the Bears, they do it. Bears players, right? They'll go on, they'll insult Green Bay, they'll insult fans. They could do that pretty well. They just can't win games. So with the Falcons and Saints, like anytime that one of those teams lose, they're like, it grows the hatred. So I respect it. So then you have Dennis Allen, and he has to do this. I get it. He has to, right? Go out and just be like, it wasn't me. Like, it wasn't me, what have you, what have you. However, the already like perception of Dennis Allen was being like a conservative, kind of like not very gutsy coach. And this makes that look even worse because the fan base is loving this. Fan base is like full behind Jameis Winston, full behind like, yup, let's rock. And then the coach is like, well, we shouldn't do that. So then they're like, God, I just don't like Dennis Allen even more. And it sets them up for a situation. And then they're potentially bringing in Gruden again. So
as a quarterback coach.
As a quarterback coach, yeah, not as a head coach. Yeah. But they're bringing it in and it's just like, oh, this totally won't go wrong at all. That would be hysterical.
Do you think Gruden served his time? Do you think he deserves to be back in the mix, Tom?
I think that the NFL has hired significantly worse people than John Gruden, so I think that bar has already been lowered, and that's not a decision for me to make. That's for the Saints to make. So,
I think if he wants back in, I think it's time.
Subjective.
I think I wish we just had Gruden's QB camp back. Like, I want Gruden on TV versus coaching. Like, I like listening to a guy who I think, if left alone with just a football, would make love to it. And that's John Gruden. John Gruden and alone in a room for too long with the football. Tom, that football is getting you know what. And what I'm saying is he's passionate. You can't not hear the passion in his voice when he's talking about the game of football. So I want that. I want it. Just keep him away from the computer. Passionate. Just don't let him email, and he's fine. He's fine.
Muppets. Well, I mean, like, dude, listen, that whole thing, with Gruden sending emails and all of that, and like, I get it, like, he needed to go. And it's also like the amount of other folks in the league that got away with doing it. And they're like, oh, okay, let's just never talk about this ever again, and let's not go any deeper with this. It's just, come on, man.
The league just, like, Goodell doesn't like Gruden. They took him out.
But I also will say that this also goes to show how insanely incestual the NFL is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we're not going to bring in a guy like this young person who we're going to like upgrade and like go find the talent. Let's bring back John Gruden. This is why, like, I'm sorry, like Joe Barry gets jobs. This is why, like, a lot of coaches who have been around and have not necessarily done a great job, like a Josh McDaniels, will get another opportunity before it's a younger, different head coach. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. Again, as Perna said, he might just stay at the Cowboys if McCarthy goes.
Yeah, I think, didn't the Chargers request to interview him? I believe. I forget. He would make sense with the Chargers. Kind of depends on what Harbaugh's doing right now.
So,
I mean, he could end up in Tennessee, Dan Quinn.
I'm going to open up a can of worms real quick.
Sure.
A can of worms.
So
last night, because with the Fan of the Year stuff, there are like these virtual events that are going on. I haven't been able to make the first two just because it was like during a Tuesday at like 8 o'clock and I was working on a video or like premiering something or trying to get something out. But last night I was able to attend, and it was a virtual Q&A with Roger Goodell.
Oh, wow.
So it was on Zoom.
You got to ask questions?
So they asked for you to submit questions beforehand.
Yes.
And I didn't. So I think they only got like one question. So then they were like, you can ask in the chat, and it's private, so nobody can see it. And then the person running the meeting could decide like if they're going to ask it to Goodell.
Right. Interesting.
And this was actually my question. So because there was kind of like this lull of like, okay, no one's asking questions. There's just these staple questions that are being asked. And I asked, like, with the evolution of streaming, you know, how does the NFL balance fan accessibility to the games while also, you know, having financial success? And his response, it was a very PR response, but his response, and take it however you want, his response was basically, we're going where the fans are. Because you talk about Sunday Ticket and Prime, like Thursday Night Football, they've gotten like 10 years younger on Prime in terms of demographics because so many people had Prime already.
Sure.
Though also, you know, you have Twitch, so it's free as well. But they're saying that in terms of the amount of people who have cable, you know, there's not a ton anymore, you know, that people are going to streaming. Yeah. And that's why we're going to these platforms, because that's where our fans are. Now, there's like part of that where you're like, I mean, that's a valid reason, right? But then there's also of like, yeah, but you're also putting stuff behind a paywall. So like it's, you know, again, you have the cable paywall aspect, you know, unless you have a strong antenna. But I don't know, man. I was kind of just...
Interesting.
I'm not I was cool to think of it that way, of just be like, people are streaming, so we're going to streaming services and we're getting paid for it, which is valid. But at the same time, it's like, I don't like that you have this exclusive. Like, there needs to be a free option for everyone still, in my opinion. Because, like, even when the local folks will get it, but I don't know. Like, even them having it on Prime, thank God they have it on Twitch. Because if it was just on Prime, then, like, you could only watch it with that. Like, having it on Twitch and having it being accessible is the most important
feel
thing.
like the answer for that is the NFL stream. You should have the NFL streaming app for, I don't know, like this exact scenario.
Yeah.
And it's tough because, like, you know,
True.
Peacock or NBC, so that's Universal, pays for the rights of a playoff game.
It's
and
like
then they want to put it
$1 million.
Yeah. And that's fine. Like, you can still, they can still host the game on their app, but like they're still selling ads to that game, right? NBC is still selling ads. People are going to have to watch commercials if they're watching it through Peacock. So to me, it's not like they're going to lose money on the NFL also providing the game through their app or whatever. You're going to get probably more eyeballs on it for your ad bucks. You're just probably not going to sell as many Peacock subscriptions as you want. And the real problem there, if you want to get into the woods about it, is the whole freaking streaming model that every stupid company decided they needed their own streaming service is not working. Like,
no, because now there's the mergers, and now there's like, listen, we want to get into streaming wars and how absolutely convoluted crap it's become. Where it's just like, even Prime of just being like, oh, we're gonna put ads now, and again, this is a football adjacent conversation. But when you're saying, because Goodell was saying that the NFL can help legitimately develop some of these streaming services, and he's not wrong, because the NFL, I mean, you go and look at cable right now, and the majority of, like, I think it was like the top 50 or something like that broadcast
NFL games,
and football is what, like 48 out of the top 50.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. Like, the NFL's market share and just how powerful of a league it is and how popular it is the most popular league in this country. And it's trying to spread that around the world. Like, they're talking about like the globalization efforts of trying to expand the game. So, dude, like, the fact that you can look at streaming and go, yeah, that's where our audience is, that's 100% accurate. It's just, at the same time, as the streaming platforms get worse, and make no mistake, they are getting worse, that makes it more difficult for fans to view the product.
Yeah, it got so fractured, right? It's like Peacock. I have it. Like, I already pay for it, and I don't want to pay for it. There's Paramount Plus. I pay for that now because I tried to see if that was going to be streaming any quicker when you and I were co-streaming.
Sure.
It wasn't. I have Prime. And I'll say this about Prime. I feel like they do the best job of all the like when I watch, and I watch so many games on my phone this year, I'm like, I think Prime does it better than the normal broadcasts to give you the different options to watch and just giving you freaking Prime Vision to watch games with the stats, with all that shit for us football nerds. We're like John Gruden with the football alone. We will take it every time. But like, then you got to pay for what? Netflix. If you want that, you got Apple Plus. They're talking about they want it in on Sunday Ticket, right? Apple. Then you've got YouTube. Are you paying for YouTube TV? Do you have cable? You got some people's cables attached to their internet, like me. I could get a different. I could pay for YouTube TV. Like it's too fragmented, and all of that stuff's outside of the NFL's control. So that's not even really on the NFL. They're just trying to adapt to the changing landscape. Correct. And that puts them in an odd situation when it's like if you want to do that during the regular season, fine. But for a playoff game, ugh. But the fact that it's a Chiefs playoff game, hilarious. Oh, nobody gets to watch the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Kansas City. We don't want to see you. We don't want to see you.
Perna, you and I are streaming that game on Saturday.
Yeah, so come check out Tom and I. I ain't talking about how it's going to benefit you and I. Go fans.
It'd be a 10. Be a 10 out of 10.
Go fans.
Sounds like it. But anyway, so going forward, the Giants, circling all the way back to the Giants. Because like even the chats are saying too, of like, doing that stuff with the Ravens, and like it seems like Wink, regardless of how good of a defense he can create, not worth the issues that he was causing. But now it's like, okay, well, where do the Giants go from here? Again, probably quarterback, get a new DC, and figure it the hell out. And someone was talking about, because that chart did come out yesterday, about how many picks like all the teams have. Like the Cardinals have a ton, the Bears have a ton, the Packers have a ton, which is great. The Bears, and I kind of want to circle back on them. They fired Luke Getsy. They're keeping Eberflus. They're going to need a new OC. Talking about what they do when it comes to Justin Fields, I still don't know keeping Eberflus is indicative of what like their plans are at quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like if they trade out here, they're going to get a lot more picks. And the Bears could use some more picks in this
Tag
draft.
on the Twitters if you have it. Tag on the Twitters. Come on. Let's go.
There we go. Yes. Tag us at Brandon Perna, at Tom Grossi Comedy. Or
There's
just
Tom
Grossi.
Grossi out there who's like an accountant, so is taking my name. Or maybe I took his name.
How many picks do the Giants have? Well, they got a good amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in the first 3. 7.
Very true, Space. That is very, very true. And if he's able to win a playoff game too, absolutely.
Look at all those picks the Cards got. Dang.
The Cards are, and what's funny is because people thought Houston was going to not be that great this year. They're like, oh, that's going to be the low pick. And like, Arizona will be bad too. But nope, like Arizona still get a top 5 pick, so they're going to be able to draft
6 in the first 3 rounds. Cards are sitting pretty to build around Kyler.
It's dude, this playoff, like these playoffs are going to be so damn fun. Like I'm super excited for it. This offseason is going to be full chaos too. Just like with the coaching vacancies, like what a lot of teams are going to do at quarterback. The draft is going to be crazy. I think you're going to see a bunch of trades this year. It just feels like one of those years.
So the Broncos held like their press conference yesterday, and they had George Payton talk, Sean Payton talk, and Greg Pinner talked of the Walton Pinner Group. So he's like our acting owner, Greg Pinner, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably a lame take, but like I really like Greg Pinner. It's we had this organization in Walmart with all this money come in and buy us, and you don't know like how they're going to be. So far, they're like as an ownership group, they're doing a nice job. It will be a very plump football. It will be a plump, moist football. Now, Greg Pinner, very good. He said all the right things, right? He said all the right things in his press conference, saying that they're just as impatient as the fans in terms of wanting to succeed. So, like, I feel good about the direction of the team. I think a lot of people want George Payton as our GM, like, gone because of the Russ contract, right? I disagree. I think we need to give him and Sean Payton time to work together. And I think Sean Payton likes George Payton. So that's nice. Your head coach and GM, they're on the same page.
Yeah.
And I think their strengths complement each other, right? I think like George Payton has been very good, I think, at drafting and finding talent in places where it's tough to find talent, starting caliber talent. All of this. So I think it's good. Ownership's good. I like the GM head coach combo moving forward. And they did not squash the idea that Russell Wilson could be back for the Broncos, Tom. And what kind of world would it be if come September 2024, I am talking about how the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson are going to get us into the postseason? It's still possible. It's still possible. Now, Sean Payton talking about having a 30-minute conversation with Russell Wilson, that they haven't decided on anything. I think he's gone. But I think it's at this point, I think it's more of Russ wanting out than anything. I think he got offended when George Payton approached his agent to try and rework his contract a little bit. And Team Russ going to get him dealt, moved, gone. But the ideal situation, in my opinion, would be Russ staying, the Broncos drafting a quarterback, and them taking the Packers approach where they draft a guy, they give him some time to develop, and you got Russ there, who is, at this moment, our best option. At this moment.
So now you want to do things like the Packers, huh?
Yep. Now I like it.
Okay. It's interesting. Well, here's the thing.
It's just Russ got to be willing to play, and I don't think he is. I don't think he wants to be in that role.
I mean, would you?
Yeah. Yes.
What? Like, your head coach obviously does not like you.
Fuck
your
him.
organization asked after the bye week, hey, can we renegotiate some of these?
It's one part of the contract. It's a fair ask. It's a fair ask.
Brandon, come on. If this was another team, there is no shot.
No, I've thought about it. I've thought about it a lot.
There's no way, my dude.
We've given that man everything he's asked for. And the one time we asked for something in return, he said, suck it, team. Look, the Russ PR team is strong. They got out ahead of this. They are strong.
Can't see it. I'll check.
They are strong.
It
wasn't even a pay cut. It was just changing the deadline for the injury guarantee. Wasn't even for a pay cut. Yeah, maybe I'd have a slightly different opinion. But let me tell you this, Tom.
I think you'd have a slightly
If somebody were paying me $40 or $50 million,
yep,
and I was not performing, I would be looking at myself very like if you and I signed a deal with, let's just say we got a multi-million-dollar deal from ESPN. They're like, we want you guys to go on before McAfee, and we want you to do some conspiracies for us. I'm like, all right. 1 year into that deal, our show is not performing.
Sure.
I am not going to feel good about it. I'm going to be like, how do we make this work?
Sure, but Russ hasn't done that?
No.
How do you know?
Because the moment they asked him to, he said...
wouldn't change the contract. No, see, I don't like that one. Because, all right, so then we're looking. Why isn't it working out?
Because Russ is not performing to that contract.
So you're saying the reason the Denver Broncos were bad this year because of Russell Wilson?
I'm not saying that's the only reason, no.
So, but that's what my point is being, though.
Better than they were last year. They were better than they were last year.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And before when we were 1-5, there was a lot of things going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch Russell Wilson play, you know, he is both the problem and the solution. Just like games on the line, he's great. But Will and I have talked about this. You never get 3 good drives in a row from Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
2. You can get two good drives. You'll never get 3. No fucking chance, man. Not a chance you're getting 3 good drives out of Russ. He is very flawed in his game, and he shouldn't be at this point in his career. It is the Russ zone. Thank you.
But Brandon, as you and I have talked about ad nauseum on this show over the years about players and just be like, get whatever you can. It is also not Russell Wilson's fault that the Denver Broncos made that trade, gave him that huge contract.
They were
are now like
to give him everything he wanted.
That's not.
They were dumb to do that. Yeah, I agree.
And then that's what Sean Payton criticized, which rightfully so, because it was, we won the offseason, let's ride. And I'm not trying to like bury the Broncos here. I'm talking about from a player perspective. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, like you gave this contract. That doesn't mean you're not going to work. That doesn't mean you're not going to try and get better. And I don't think that Russell Wilson has not done those things in an attempt to get better, because he did look better from last year. So that's what I'm saying. Like, absolutely not. You're asking me to change the contract. It's like, no, like put me in a better position to succeed. I will continue to work very hard to try and succeed and earn that money and earn that contract. But it is also a contract. Yeah.
They did put him in a better position to succeed this year. He's got a better head coach. His offensive line was very good this year.
I think they do.
Cortland Sutton was great. I think and Russ's teammates like him right now. Like
right now,
people have thought like they've come out and spoken favorably for Russ. And Russ put in the work. He's a guy who's always going to put in the work. It's never about effort with Russ, and he's tough. He's fucking tough as hell. It's just he's not getting any better. He's putting in all the work.
Sure. And then so you cut him or you trade him, and then that's it.
Yeah, but you can't trade him. Nobody's going to trade for him.
Oh well,
but yeah, that's the thing. Like they're going to cut him.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be, I think, doing that if he were a little more flexible. But like, where's he going to go? Like, I mean, I do like Atlanta, but it depends on who's coaching there. I don't think he's going to go somewhere else and be better. You know what I mean? Actually, just so the football gods can smite me, I think he'll go somewhere and be amazing. That's just my fear as a broken football fan.
Of course.
But like, you know, and I still, even if Russ left, even if he left, and I don't feel good about it, I want him to light it up just because he's taken so much shit over the last 2 years. Like, I want him to give a good middle finger to all the people who unfairly criticized him. You can criticize his game and all that, and that's fine.
Sure.
Like, I want it for him. It's not an anti-Russ thing, and I think a lot of people confuse that. I just think...
No, I don't think it's an anti-Russ thing from you. Not at all.
I think I have seen what probably Seahawks fans got tired of in Seattle. And Russ is a guy where he lets the tough stuff happen behind the scenes, and that's smart. But I think I think what I don't like is the way him and his PR team, I think, tried to paint the picture about how the contract thing was approached. And I don't think they were fair to George Payton in this whole situation.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't think it was as black and white as they made it out to be.
I understand what you're saying because, well, I think it's a litany of things, right? I think it's the issue that you have is that. Hold on one second. I'm trying to show this thing because I actually saw this on the Broncos subreddit that I wanted to talk about. Because they came out yesterday and said, like, spoke to the agent, right?
Yes, he was, and he was also not.
Spoke to his agent, and then, like, it's not like negotiations are really hard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't blame that for like Russell Wilson being like, no, screw you guys. Like, you know, like we're not going to do that because we don't feel like we have the support of the organization. And we're not going to go and change this deal. Right. And at the same time, like you basically have two PR battles that are going on.
Yeah.
Because you have the Denver Broncos and then you have like Russell Wilson's camp.
Yeah.
And I just think like you mentioned before, got it. You mentioned before about Russ getting like all this unfair crap. And I think that what Russell Wilson has done, and I think that like this is kind of where things are going, like more on the internet and stuff too, of being like more player friendly and all that great stuff. Russell Wilson's a weird dude. Like he is an out there dude, right? Sure. And like that's cool. That's fine. He does a lot of charity work, which is super duper cool. But like he's a weird dude. And I think when it comes to criticizing him, when his play on the field was not great, it was, well, then his personality is also going to get criticized to the moon. And like, listen, I was part of that as well. Like, because he was talking about, who was it? It was Marshawn Lynch was saying like he didn't have his phone number. And I was like, that's weird. Like, that's not really like a leader thing. That stuff's going to come up when you're losing. But like at the same time, like this was from the Broncos subreddit. And like you had, you know, Russell Wilson like running off in Vegas and like he's stopping for Broncos fans still and signing stuff and like spending time with them. Like that's like cool stuff. And I'm like, damn, like he is going to get thrown under the bus hardcore. And so that's why for me, I'm like, you know what, screw it. Like keep your contract, keep your money, cut me, have a nice day.
Yeah, well, that's what I like. That's why, like, what I was just saying, like, I want him back for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I want the Broncos to draft a quarterback. I think the best situation for the Broncos would be Russell Wilson starting this coming year with a guy they draft, unless, of course, they trade up to get one of the top 3 dudes. If we got Jaden Daniels, then fine. Russ can go do his thing somewhere else. I don't think they are going to do that. I don't think they can get as high as they need to get a guy like Jaden Daniels. So you're talking about Bo Nix, you're talking about Michael Penix, you're talking about the guys who are going to probably need some time to marinate, just like I talked about in the Jordan Love video and how smart it is to give those guys time to get comfortable with the coaching staff, with the players, so they can go out there and lead immediately. So that's why I want Russ to be a little bit more flexible, to give the Broncos that, like, I think by removing that guarantee, it probably makes him safe with Denver for 2 years. But after that, it's a big mystery. And if he gets hurt, you're like, why am I giving up that injury guarantee or whatever? I am sure there's like a dozen different ways they could still have made that work if both sides were willing to play ball there. Like NFL contracts are already crazy. We already don't understand them. They could put in probably 30 different clauses that we could never actually understand what the hell is happening. But I don't think Russ's side was willing to play ball at all. And I think they tried to paint it like they were victims in that whole situation without acknowledging a lot of the other stuff that went on. And I will say the PR battle is real, because we heard Sean Payton, George Payton, and Greg Pinner all say Russ was benched for football reasons. They were on the script. Football reasons. 100% football reasons. I don't buy that either. I'm not saying
that's 100% BS. It's 100%.
I'm not saying both sides aren't at fault. It's just like there's no one right answer there. And I wish we were going to be in a better situation. And I won't even know that until after the draft.
But this is also the stuff that makes it like, this is the kind of stuff that for me as a fan, I'm like, I hate this. Like, if this was my team, I'm like, this is just...
Yeah, it's annoying.
Every bit of it. Because it's not about the team getting better. It's not about winning games. It's not about, like, oh, this makes me really happy to be a fan. Because I tweeted this out last night because I haven't said anything. Because legitimately, I just try to stay away from it. Because it's just so toxic and crappy, and I don't care. The Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Kimmel thing, I tweeted out last night. I was like, the fact that I could just focus on the Packers making the playoffs and not that, it's not brings me joy, it brings me peace. And I'm just like, yes, I don't have to give a flying crap. And thankfully, I'm not getting tagged in it a lot, which is also awesome. Of course, it's all over my feed because it's what people are talking about. It's pop culture and sports colliding head first. There's people that are talking about this that have never talked about sports before. And now this is there. And I'm like, I don't have to care. I don't have to care. And it's so nice that I'm just like, hey, we're going to rock with Jordan Love. Like, Packers in the playoffs, playing with house money. There's no stress. It's nice. It's nice. Yes.
It's been made. We
There you go.
did it. Thank you. Hey, Cub, 1996.
Crushing it.
Cub.
Amy Adams will win it. Win
Mm.
it. So, well, that's also the issue too, right? So, like, you need to have like that PR battle because listen, there was the Packers PR battle and there was the Aaron Rodgers PR battle when they were going through their thing.
Oh, yeah.
For years, it wasn't just one off season.
No.
And I was just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I don't want to focus on this at all.
Hey, look, and if Russell Wilson hadn't already made a couple $100 million through his career, maybe I would have some more sympathy for Russ. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
We're about players getting paid. You and I, 100%. Russ has been paid. He has been paid. We paid him more, and he has not lived up to that pay. Not even
Correct.
Close. Not
I
even
agree with that.
close.
I completely agree.
So maybe Amy Adams will play Russell Wilson after Mike Vrabel.
But that's like what I'm saying. It's not criticize his on-field play because he has not lived up to that contract whatsoever. Nope. And I don't think anybody is arguing otherwise. It's just it becomes a little bit more tricky when you have okay, well now we're going to start finagling with the contract and
that's the thing. Yeah, you can easily paint Russ as the good guy. You can paint him as the bad guy. You can criticize the Broncos. You can praise the Broncos. Nobody's 100% right. Nobody's 100% wrong. The only thing that is 100% true is that contract was stupid.
Yes. Exactly.
And I liked it at the time. I said, give him 10 years. Give him 10. But that's how bad I was down as a quarterback watching Broncos fan. I said, Russell will definitely be an upgrade of what we've had. Year 1, he wasn't. Year 2, a little bit.
But not to an upgrade. You literally, I remember it like it was yesterday when you're like 10 years. We have a quarterback for 10 years. Like we have him. Like we're going to have him for
care when he falls off physically. By that time, we'll have had a couple playoff wins. I'll be happy.
Yep.
Nope. Can't even get to the playoffs.
Real quick, because I didn't realize that we are already over.
Whoa, yeah, we are.
I did not. I got lost in conversation. So
I'll do that to you.
That's true. Real quick, I did want to talk about Jared Goff real quick. Because
nobody.
I feel like a lot of the conversation, and rightfully so, and that's even in power rankings and my predictions, stuff like that, has been about Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit and like playing against his former team, how emotional that's going to be. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. I legit also want to shout out Jared Goff because when that trade happened, almost everyone and their mother was like, he's going to be there for a maximum of 2 years.
Yeah.
And then he's gone and they'll get a real quarterback. And he heard all that too. And obviously went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, did not work out. They traded him. This is such a huge game for Jared Goff because if he's able to beat his former team and give the Lions their first playoff win in 30 years, that is going to be such an insane moment for him. And I'll be okay if Stafford winds up winning and all that stuff too. I think there's a good chance the Rams wind up winning. But damn, for Jared Goff to be able to do that, that's got to feel pretty damn special. So
no, I disagree. I've already got the tweet if Goff wins. We always knew Matthew Stafford would give the Lions their first playoff win. So if Goff wins, we're still going to credit Matthew Stafford in my heart. We always knew.
And now listen, if Goff falls apart and it's not good, it's not going to look good. Mike McDonald, I think, has a good chance of going somewhere else.
I think Goff will I think he'll be good. I think he'll be fine. But we've seen a couple games this year where the turnovers were an issue, right? Oh man, I want the Lions to win so bad. I really, really want the Lions to win, but I do not feel good about the Lions heading into this game.
I agree with you. And I think in terms of Jared, it just seems like that's the overwhelming narrative is Matthews. And I get it. And it should be because that is a huge deal. I'm just also thinking of damn, Jared Goff is still here. Is he a perfect quarterback? Absolutely not. But he bought into the team.
Yeah.
He bought in with Dan Campbell. Those dudes love each other. And now he's playing in the first playoff game in 30 years for the Lions. That's just pretty damn cool.
He's he's a guy who got to the Super Bowl. We forget that Jared Goff played in the Super Bowl. the Lions deserve to win a playoff game more than any other team in the league, and I hope they do get it. But if man, I think Friday we'll talk about all the revenge angles. But yeah, Stafford beating them, that'll be crazy. It's just like either the two worst things that can happen for the Lions are, one, Jared Goff just plays bad, right?
Yeah.
Like he fumbles a couple times or whatever, or throws some picks. And it's just like, and then Lions fans are like, do we just need a different quarterback to take us over? But even worse, possibly, is like Dan Campbell just does the Dan Campbell thing where it's like 4th and 12 from his own 20. He's like, we're going for it. And everyone's like, Dan, it's the first quarter, man. Dan, no, don't do it now. We're going for two. We're going for two. Like one of those situations where it's just like he's stubborn. He's like already decided that we're doing it this way, and it doesn't work out. If it works out, then it's the best thing. Everybody's like, that is why we have this man.
That's our code. If it doesn't, it's going to be like Brandon Staley, but a lot more muscular and intimidating.
Yeah, but we're kind of scared to talk shit about him because he might find us.
He might hear her. Yeah, he may cause harm to us.
But anyway.
All right, we'll break down all these games, though, on Friday when we do that.
We believe, Jared. We believe.
Did you even make the graphic for rankings? We could just do it on Friday.
Oh, I did. Oh, my God.
Just do it on... Dude, we were 1-11. We're like, we'll do it on Friday.
Yeah. Well, yep.
Well, Perna, what do you got coming out today, buddy?
I don't know. It's either how to pick your playoff bandwagon team or...
Ooh, I like that.
How which quarterback's legacy will benefit the most from a Super Bowl win this go around.
You should do the first one.
Well, they're both in the works.
Do it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's right now.
I'll go to bandwagon. We're already started writing it. I already started writing the other
bandwagon.
One over to Johnny. So Johnny, I said no video this week, but I'm gonna get you a video.
Yeah, you do that one because it's right before playoffs and put it out as early as you can. It'll do well.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm gonna try.
I'll just do
what do you got?
I got predictions coming out today. And then one of two things is happening tonight. Either the North Saga, it will be released tonight, or members Q&A will be tonight. So I'll have a better idea around like 4 p.m. Eastern, just because then I'll have a good amount of work done. So one of those things are happening. And if members Q&A happens tonight, North will be released tomorrow. And if North happens tonight, members Q&A will be tomorrow. So
tight.
We gonna rock. But folks, we appreciate the heck out of you. You'll see you on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time for another edition of GPS, where we'll highlight and predict all of the playoff games. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.
There he is.
Holiday Road.